12 apply, or there's just 2 of them working anymore, he said he couldn't.
I knew that.
Man, I'm first in line.
So they'll have to go someplace.
No, Junior applicants go all.
Jamestown City Council meeting August 21st, 2025 is now called to order. HK, please, and prayer, please.
I will. Father, thank you for this beautiful day you've given to us. We thank you for the excitement that we feel in our city. We thank you for those persons that are here and dedicated themselves to make this a better place. May everything said and done tonight be your will. In Jesus' name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, the first thing we have tonight on the agenda is a resolution 2025-03. This is where we have, oh, yeah. First of all, I hope everyone else had time to look over the minutes from last month. If so, I need a motion to approve those minutes.
I make a motion to approve those minutes.
Motion by Gail,
Second.
second by William, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Anyway, the first thing on our business is the resolution 2025-03. And this is a resolution where we have applied through the Lake Como Area Development District in Russell Springs for a grant to replace the chlorine with bleach down at the water plant. And this is something that we applied a little while back for, but it's got to be passed through a resolution to continue working to try to get it. And its main purpose that, we're thinking of trying to do that is safety purposes down the road of getting rid of the chlorine and going to bleach. And cost-wise, probably not a whole lot of difference, but we feel like bleach may be a little cheaper, I think. But the main concern is safety with the use of chlorine. So this is just a resolution to apply for that grant money.
So, authorization resolution of the city of Jamestown filing, funding the application, appointing appropriate local government official and successor entitled as official project representative of the Kentucky Water and Wastewater Assistance for Troubled or Economically Restrained Systems. Kentucky Waters Program Project. Whereas the city of Jamestown proposes to complete the capital projects identified in the Water Resource Information Systems as WX 212-07040 or a non-capital project that will not require a WRIS number. Whereas City of Jamestown endorses said project, whereas under the terms of the amendments of the KRS 224A, the Kentucky Waters Program was established to provide for the funding application and evaluation process of the eligible public water and wastewater systems to seek funds for the General Assembly, and whereas proposed for either capital or non-capital expenses by the City of Jamestown within the City of Jamestown area are considered eligible for such funding assistance. Now therefore be it resolved by the City of Jamestown that the mayor and successor entitled are hereby authorized to execute and submit an application through the Kentucky Infrastructure Authority with such assurances and required supporting data as the necessary to obtain funding assistance for the Kentucky Waters Program for the proposed capital or non-capital project, and hereby authorize the City of Jamestown, the official project representative, to carry out necessary negotiations for and administer the funding assistance that applicant may obtain from the Kentucky Waters Program.
Need a motion on that?
Yes.
Make a motion.
Motion by Tony, second by Dwight, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Second thing we have is another resolution. It's resolution 2025-04. And this is a resolution back, I don't know how long back, we applied for a grant to replace all the water meters in town. And it's over 900,000. I believe it's like 916 or 918,000. And at the time when we applied for that grant, there was a 20% match that the city would have had to put into, if we get that grant, then we'd have had to put 20% in. A little ways to do that, they raised that amount. Well, when it was 20%, we applied for that. Well, then the state come in and raised that amount to, it was going to be a 30% match instead of a 20% match. So at that point, even if we got the 20% match that we applied for, then we would have still had to put in 10%, which would have been around $96,000. But now they have a new grant open up that is the same kind of grant that we were approved for the match, but it covers that other 10%. So instead of us having to put in $96,000, if we can get approved for this, which we feel is a really good chance of getting it. And this, of course, is still just a match to go with the big grant if we get final approval on that. So we have asked the ag to go ahead and apply for this grant that would provide the full 30%. And this is just a resolution for her to submit that to make sure that we get that in. And if we do get approved for the big grant, that we've got the match there for our 30%, keeping the city from having to put any, if we have to put anything in, it would be very little, maybe $3,000 or $4,000. But the way it stands right now, it would be $96,000. So I feel like that with the chances that they're telling us that they feel like that the chances are really high that we would get it, and if we can save $96,000, I feel like we should do it. So I've asked them to go ahead and apply for that. I just need, Tyler's got the resolution to read, and then we'll need a motion if y'all are okay with applying for it.
It's adoption of a resolution of the City of Jamestown authorizing completion and filing of the government resources accelerating needed transportation program of 2024 project application for up to $270,000 in grant program of 2024 funds with the Cabinet for Economic Development, CED, authorizing and directing the mayor of the City of Jamestown to execute any documents which are deemed necessary by the CED to carry out this project, and authorizing the authorized representative to act as authorized correspondent for this project, permitting review and execution of all documents and request all disbursements related to the grant program of 2024. Whereas the entity desires to promote, carry out community development efforts on behalf of the residents of Russell County by supporting the grant program of 2024 project, and whereas the entity is has submitted an application for the following federal grant program, ARC, with the intended to access federal grant resources that are in the public interest and for the public purpose, may seek funding assistance in preparing and/or completing applications for federal resources. Whereas recognized the grant program 2024 monies available to the entity for the purposes stated herein pursuant to KRS 147A 150 to 147A 166, impose certain obligations and responsibilities upon the entity and will require, among other things, approval of the satisfactory application submitted to CED for approval, proper registration to the business within the Commonwealth, and other obligations the entity in connection with receiving grant program of 2024 monies for the purpose stated herein.
So basically, where we were approved for 180, we're applying to be approved for 270, which takes care of that 96,000. And like I say, if we didn't feel there was a really good chance we'd get it, then we wouldn't go that way. But I feel after talking to the ag that it's a pretty sure thing, so.
I'll make a motion to apply.
Motion by Barry, second by Gail, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Third thing we have on the agenda for new business is the interlocal road agreement. This is one we do every year.
This agreement made and entered into by and between the City of Jamestown and the County of Russell, Kentucky, for the purpose of establishing a system of cooperation between the City of Jamestown and the County of Russell, specifically for the purposes of maintaining, repairing, paving, and/or creation of roads within the City of Jamestown and the County of Russell for the time set forth. The parties desire to be in compliance to all applicable state and federal requirements. Road infrastructure is necessary for both citizens of Jamestown and Russell County. The parties hereto must cooperate in maintaining and creating proper road infrastructure as mutually agreed upon by and between parties hereto as follows. That interlocal agreement shall be effective pro tunc September 15, 2025 to September 14, 2026. That the city and county shall both cooperate on maintenance, repair, paving, and creation of roads in city limits of Jamestown within the City of Jamestown, hereby agreeing to accept funding from the Russell County Road Aid Fund and in cooperation. This shall in no way prevent the County of Russell and the City of Jamestown from their methods of cooperation unrelated to the Russell County Road Aid Fund, adopted by the council of the city of Jamestown, Kentucky at the meeting on 21st day of August 2025, and the same Asian signed in open session by Regena Hinton Mayor, Jamestown, Kentucky, attested and under seal by Tyler McGowan, Jamestown City Clerk, and declared to be in full force and effect.
And this is just the same agreement that we've had for years with the on the road work and stuff. So I just need a motion. Motion by Dwight, second by William. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the next thing we have is our event that we have coming up in October. I'm sure everybody's heard a little bit about Jeeps Are Wild, and so we just kind of want to update where we're at on that. I think Tony's got some more information and a little bit of what so far has been discussed in the meeting as to what all's going to be going on and what we're trying to get planned for October the 11th. So Tony, you want to tell everybody kind of?
We met with the, all of the committee, the two from Jeeps Wild and me and Barry met last week. Regena had to be out of town for the DLG conference in Louisville, so she couldn't be there. We had a meeting with them. They had this page of basically the rules that they had come up with, typed up. It's basically just rules of how the event will be conducted as far as going to each card stop and getting the card. Nobody's allowed to open. They'll all be sealed up in an envelope. You get one card at each stop. Nobody's allowed to open their cards until they get back to the drag strip. And then I guess the Jeeps Are Wild people will be up on the stage and they'll do the opening of the cards there and in front of everyone. But they will be sealed up in manila envelopes so that you can't see, you won't be able to hold it up to the light and see what your cards is and then trade cards or anything like that. The thing on the rules that they have, and HK, did they email you a copy of their waiver, the 606 group?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
I never did it either. They were going to email it to me, but I never did it.
Well, they have a waiver drawn up that, I guess it's just a standard waiver that they use from one event to the next. And it doesn't include anything about the city of Jamestown, it just has them, it just mentions them. So, you know, I would think we need to get, maybe have HK draw up a joint waiver that covers us both.
That the participants will sign.
Yes.
In case they wreck.
Yes.
All that stuff, okay.
Yeah.
I can do that.
Let's see.
Can we just put that together as one, so they just got?
Well, that would be what I would think, so, because the people are gonna have to sign them, and, you know, that.
So who's the official, what's the name of the outfit that's going to be,
The 606 Jeep Association of Kentucky.
06, I got you.
I mean, they have, and it's a lengthy waiver. I thought they had sent it to you all.
I wouldn't mind if you look at it, they may have things in there that I'm not, you know.
I can text it to you.
Yeah, do that, because I'll be glad to draw it up, but I can feed off of there, too.
Well, it covers them, but I mean, it's just a standard one that they use from event to event to event.
Well, would you like me to incorporate that one and put the city in that too?
Well,
Same type of.
I mean, after you read it,
I
you
think,
think it's
yeah,
good.
I'll work on that, sure.
Yeah, I mean, after you read it, you think it's good, you just put us in there with it to make it inclusive of us too.
I'll do it. But you email to me or text it to me or something.
I can text it to you. Let's see, there was something else. What was it they had sent?
I have a question on these rules here that I'm reading down. On number 9, it says, in case of a tie, there will be a draw for high card to determine the winner. So let's say there's a tie for first, and they have to draw a card to see who wins. Is the other one going to get second place?
I would guess, but you know, that's a good point, and I didn't think of that, but I would guess, yeah.
Yeah, if you got two, you
I
got
mean, you would
two.
think that, but it doesn't really say that on here.
Yeah,
You would think that one that didn't,
Well, yeah, because
Draw
both
hard,
of his hands
should
meet
get
whoever would have been second, so he had to make didn't get the high card.
you just don't wanna get into somebody second,
Well,
on the
yeah.
second place
And
thinking
your
that
second
they
place
should.
drop down to third.
Yeah, and then that one that we got third really won't get anything.
yeah.
So we just need to make sure that's clear.
Get it. Third is,
Another thing that they had on
Normally
here,
have third, wouldn't.
oh, I mean, what, yeah,
No, but what I'm saying is, if you've got two that's tied for first, we
Yes.
wanna make sure that who's got the second and third hand knows that that third place one ain't gonna get nothing.
well, if they've got three hands above them, they're gonna know that there's three hands above them, it's better.
Yeah, we ain't getting what I'm saying.
Yeah, I do, I promise.
I'm just saying that they're gonna draw, me and Tyler draw,
Yeah.
and that you and HK over here have already what you think is the second and third best hands. That we've got to know that Tyler wins, I get second, HK gets third, that throws you out.
But if we know that there's two hands tied, and
I'm just saying, we just want to make sure they understand that. Barry. I think it's kind of a little bit there just to clarify that that's the way it would be. But
there's something else kind of along those lines. Riders must be present to receive any winnings. Prizes will be awarded for first and second best hand and worst hand. And they kind of threw a curveball at me on that one. And, but what they were thinking was, instead of doing the first three hands, to do the first two best hands and then use the third prize money to give to the worst hand, whoever had the worst hand. And I think it's a good idea, but I think we've decided that we would just go ahead and do the first three like we had talked about, and then add a worst hand. And Barry's got a sponsor to pay it's gonna be $100 for the worst hand, whoever gets the worst hand. So Barry's gonna come up with a sponsor to cover that. So there will actually be first, second, third, and then the worst hand. Four prizes. And something else that their Jeeps Are Wild rules that they're proposing doesn't include is a driver's meeting. And I know I was involved to some extent with the poker run down on the lake, and of course State Dock, Jamestown Dock originally, and then moved to State Dock. They always hosted it, put it on, and they required a driver's meeting to be held before the event began. And then they had the rules of the event that they went over with. Well, they always had the water patrol come up, read all the rules in front of all the drivers, and then every driver had to sign a sheet or a rule sheet that acknowledging that they had read and understood the rules. And of course, one of the big rules that they had was no alcoholic beverages allowed to be consumed during the event. And it was just some basic liability stuff like that. I think they wanted to have a driver's meeting. Law enforcement went over the rules with them, and then each driver signed off on it that they had read and understood and had a copy of them. And then the event went on. But there's nothing in these rules about a driver's meeting or stipulating that they have to obey all of the traffic laws and that kind of thing. And that's just something that I thought we might want to do, but HK's legal mind over there, so.
Well, I mean, it should be reading the rules orally, so everybody does hear them, because sometimes here's the rules, people don't read them.
Right.
So I think that's a good idea.
So we always had to read them, I mean, the water patrol always had to read the rules.
Right.
And then each driver signed.
Make them, that's right.
So, if that's something that we want to add, there's nothing on here about it, so.
have they decided anything about whether they're gonna come down and drive around the square and do anything
Yeah,
around the square? Has that been
that's,
decided for sure?
They're wanting to do that, of course, it's not in concrete, but they're wanting to do that. But they are asking, of course, for a police escort, which I guess police or fire trucks or whatever escort. I'm not sure of the legalities of them driving on the road with those lights all lit up underneath, shining down the road. I don't know if that's,
You know, Jeff, anything about, would that be an issue, do you think, or is that something?
I just know we can't have anything that's blue and flashes, I know that, but, I mean.
well, I mean, some of them's gonna have blues, they're just in constant lit, I think.
I don't know, but that's read KRS on that, I'm not sure. I don't think they can have anything blue while the vehicle is in motion. Whether it be steady or flashing, actually, to be honest with you, I think, but.
I mean, even if they was just doing it while he's being escorted, like in a parade type deal.
They do it at the Christmas parade,
Yeah,
or they did at the Christmas parade. but-
yeah, that is.
The other day, that these people address the issue of what if one of these, and I'm a Jeep person, you know, but if one of these Jeeps has an accident in the course of participating in a city-sponsored event, what kind of liability the city might have?
No, and that's a question that I have for you, actually, in our.
Well, you know, anytime you, and I know, I'm just saying, we need something, maybe it is, everybody ought to have insurance, you know, there ought to be guarantees, everybody's insured, there ought to be indemnification clauses, so that if they do hurt somebody and the city gets sued, they agree to assume, and go, you know, to indemnify us, you know, for any liability we might have. I mean, I know it sounds good, but I worry, you know, I worry about stuff like that.
Yeah, and I mean, something like that can always happen.
Because here they are, and I know I heard on Mr. Hoover this morning, said, well, it's not a speed event, but you know, who knows?
Yeah, I think there needs to be something in there to protect the city.
But they did not address that, did they?
However.
No, and the rules doesn't either, that's what I was saying, that I think we need to make some.
Well, it's like me and Tony had talked about where they're wanting to just let them go on their own and get their cards. I really think they ought to have to be in flights that are led. That way you don't just have whoever running all over the county and plus that, wherever they're picking up cards. That means that, you know, they will know when the flights have came through. Instead of just, you know, if you turn people loose at 10 o'clock in the morning, and let them go, you know, that means that somebody's gonna have to be there handing out cards at 10 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, they're gonna be there all day handing them out.
Well, I mean, they want to stretch it, I mean, some people want to stop and take a tour at the fish hatchery, some won't, you know. There's gonna be different ones that,
Want to do different
yeah,
things.
that's gonna take, you know, some of them won't, they're gonna get out at the rock house and look for that duck. You know, some won't, you know, so it's gonna be hard to,
Keep them all in one.
Yeah.
But they're going to be going to about 5 or 6 sites,
Seven.
7 sites.
but any poker run that I've seen,
They just-
motorcycle wise, you know, you just go.
You've got those sites that you go to and you just,
And the water poker run is just wide open.
Yeah,
But it's in flights.
but it's still.
H, could we add anything in on that waiver that would, about the protection? of
Yes,
that
I think we need to sign on
Just add
that,
that
yes.
off before we can get
If
it
they
all
have
going.
comprehensive liability insurance, and take care of everybody that kill, and then if we're sued, which we would be,
It comes back.
if somebody gets hurt, that we would be indemnified by them for any liability that, you know, they be found.
And I think that should be normal plus the, anytime that there's.
But I never heard it
Yeah.
addressed the other day, and I wasn't paying enough attention, it's confusing to me.
That's something we might need to check. When you get that waiver, see that, we need to add into that.
I'm gonna send these waivers, they actually have 2 of them. One of them is a ride waiver, and then the other one is this flex ramp that they have. They have a special, separate waiver for that one in particular. I'll send it
Did this lady say anything about their requiring people to have insurance that do this? I mean, I never,
No, but I mean, that was actually in my notes over here was, to ask you about is whether we need to do that and have them show proof of insurance before they
well, I
start.
mean, that's the ideal situation, but I can see there being some kick on that.
Well, there would be, but, you know, who knows who's gonna pull an old Jeep out of the junkyard and get it running, you know.
We see them every day.
Well, I would think though, if you've got a waiver that says that, and they're signing it saying that they have to have insurance and stuff, that they're signing that they have to have it, so.
Well, I know, but if they lie,
Well, I know, but what if, I don't have no insurance driving today and I'm
you're
lying.
not gonna lie.
I'm just saying, I think that, you know, I don't know, would that protect us if we've got a waiver saying that they're signing,
If they
saying
sign
they
something,
have
if they sign
insurance?
something swearing that they have insurance
Right,
to participate, and they get in and they agree to pay us, indemnify us for any damages that they may have caused, if we get sued, because everybody gets sued together, you know, free. If they don't have insurance, it don't matter what they've signed. You know, we're gonna be stuck. They're signing if they've got it, doesn't make it so.
okay.
They're supposed to be packing a
As
proof
far
of
as
insurance in
as
the
far
car
as the
anyway.
party is concerned.
Because I can guarantee if Jeff stops you, he's gonna wanna see your proof of insurance.
Did those come through?
How difficult would it be to check insurance on people? Half of them forget their cars.
You can just tell them that they've gotta have it. That's part of it when they're signing up for this, because they're doing pre-registration.
Well, then everybody blame me. I don't
But
really
what
blame
he's
them.
saying is, if they they've got it, if someone has the record, if they don't have it, it's still gonna come back on us regardless if they swore they had insurance.
No matter what they agree to, and what they sign.
Well, what I'm
off on.
saying, shouldn't they have to show their
Well,
insurance
that's
card?
not- Yeah, that is an ideal situation.
Well, that was, actually a question that I had notes made on over here to ask you about, or talk to you about, was to see if that should be in the rules and.
Well, I think it should be, because I hate to be on the news in the morning.
You already are.
Realistically speaking, I mean, that's the safest way for the city to operate.
Yeah.
I mean, we can add that to the rules, this is just rules that they came up with, and mostly it looks like it's covering, you know, how the winners will be determined, and cards opening and when and that kind of stuff. There really isn't much on here about conducting the actual poker run.
Because I would, as we're looking at their fee charge,
There is,
Well,
there is a.
and that makes it worse.
there'll be an entry fee.
That makes it worse.
They'll have to pay an entry fee, and of course, the entry fee money is what is going to the charity when it's over with.
That makes it worse. The fact that there's an entry fee, if I roll over,
Makes it worse as far
to
as,
make us liable
okay.
if they hurt somebody.
But the
But the
entry
money
fee
doesn't
is
go to
going
us.
to poker for 606, that we're partners with them.
Well, it's actually going to charity, I mean.
Right, but
that's-
they're the ones that's
that's the
saying
money.
their donation.
Right, but
Yeah,
the poker run fee, entry fee is, where the charity, the money that's going to charity is coming from.
I don't, you know, I'm just thinking.
So that's what we want to do.
Wait, I didn't start my clock yet.
The
You
local,
wanna
the
do-
local Jeep club said,
Sir?
the local Jeep club said that's the reason they haven't done one yet. The liability.
because they're not doing.
Did they really?
That's what Scotty told me.
Well, I ain't charging enough. And that's my thought, and I worry about, you know.
You don't have to worry about that.
Now, we have insurance,
They don't have it.
no, we have insurance for stuff like
Oh,
that.
yeah, yeah.
Just first, second.
So the issue would be what our carrier is.
I'm gonna change that up. Okay.
This is just what their rules that they
Yeah,
were proposing.
okay.
I'll have every duck fan in the county mad at me.
I'd like to know how Gatlinburg does it with 40,000 Jeeps.
That's a good question.
And that's the reason 606, the committee members from 606, they're in Gatlinburg for the big chiefing day this week. That's the reason they couldn't be.
Well, but are they racing around down there
In the
for
poker.
poker, or are they just parked on, no, they're down there just bragging on each other?
Well, they're all on Main Street.
They're just showing up.
It's a Jeep invasion.
They're just showing up, shining Jeeps and sharing ducks. They're not participating in an event
They
sponsored.
don't have a poker around here then?
I don't know.
I don't think so. I've
No,
never heard.
it's unusual from that poker run.
Yeah.
That's, the first poker run actually, isn't it?
It's their first poker
Yeah.
run that they went on. I mean, they went on rides and they went on poker runs at other places, but they've never.
Who is our insurance carrier? Anybody know?
Chairman Blair.
Yes.
Kenny Blair.
Would it be asking you too much to call them tomorrow and just get their impression of it? I mean, I'm not saying that would knock in the head one way or the other, but
It's through the league, and then outsourced out, and umbrella out from there.
what's that?
It's through the League of Cities, and then umbrella out from there. I mean, that's,
Well, that was-
Sharon there.
Yeah.
She's
I'm
our
all
solicitor.
about Sharon.
Go-to person. The insurance is.
I may be just blowing, but I mean, if you were gonna ask it, that's my concern.
Well, that's what I wanted to get covered on the poker run rules and stuff is, you know, for liability purposes, we need to protect ourselves as well as we can.
Well, yeah,
You
really.
know, do we need to require, ask them, you know, require them to show us proof of insurance before when they sign up to go, or?
Well, that's gonna be difficult if someone had it, you know, I mean,
We'll have it with them.
Well, a big majority of the entries will be online.
I wonder if they could add that to their entry form.
I would think
That
they
insurance will have to be, proof
I
of
would
insurance
think
will have
they
to be
would, please
approved.
bring proof of insurance with you when you come to the event.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, just have them to add that onto their registration, whether put it online.
Of course, Jeff would rather tag and see if they've got it.
Every one of them.
Jeff, you could run every tag, put it in and see if they've got insurance.
Nathan said, yeah.
I mean, if they're in an accident, how are we liable for I mean, if they're going from points A to B to get a card, how is the city liable?
Because they are participating in an event sponsored by the city. And the issue would be, we take due care in order to prevent them from running over somebody or running into each other or anything like that. I mean, you know, there's very creative lawyers out there who can think of a bunch of reasons why we would be liable.
I think at this point, we need to try to find out if they can put that on their registration. You get a copy of the waiver and look over that and see what needs to
Did
be
that
added
come
to it.
through? I texted that to you
Find out
all.
about the insurance and then see where we're at. Don't we, I mean, we've got to know the answers to this before we,
I texted those later to you all. Did they
I
come
saw
through?
it, yeah.
You did. HKI, I think you got that waiver to the
Yeah.
I wish we had asked that the other day, really. You know, I never thought of it.
I may be wrong, but I think it will be a big turnout. I think it will be a big turnout.
I just Googled it a minute ago and looked at some of them like they've had in Indiana and places, and it's just like, I mean, it's nothing for to have 200 or 300.
Going down there.
And this
The
payout
interest fees on a lot of them
More than most of them.
yes.
is anywhere from $100 to $800, it says.
Well, you know, I think the success of the event will be measured in large part by the number of Jeeps that participate. So, I mean, I hope we have a big turnout. And there's also gonna be things there, if I understood correctly, they're gonna have things there at the drag strip that like, maybe some kind of bounce houses or something for kids, that kind of stuff, is that what you understood too? That it's gonna be more than just the poker run, you know?
Yeah.
There's gonna be
Yeah.
vendors there with displays, and I know one that's bought a bunch of carts that he's gonna take. And,
So there'll be music, bounce houses, there'll be a DJ. We tried to get a local DJ, we just couldn't swing it.
Boo.
It's wedding season, unfortunately.
And this waiver here sets out exactly the concerns that we were talking about, you know, waiving, risk of injury and death, and all those things. And,
Is that another one of those things that's only as good as the paper it's on? Is that another one of those things that's only as good as the paper it's printed on?
It's only as good as you've got insurance companies backing people up, you know, or people got resources to.
But they can still sue you.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Well, people can see you anytime you have
Exactly.
an event. So you can have anything going on and people can find a reason to see
somebody
you.
fall and break a leg at Lake Fest and fall off the steps.
You know, once they get in a fight, they try to get the car, two guys get out of their Jeeps, you know, they get into a fist fight, somebody gets a broken neck.
Or bring
Well, they wouldn't have
WWE.
fighting, but for our sponsoring event, they probably wouldn't have been there trying to get the same place.
Well, you ain't gonna be the one sue us then.
They must have.
Well, I think first steps are find out this information. Check that waiver out, see what we can do to it.
They got a good waiver, I just scanned the waiver, it's good.
Check with the insurance company.
It
see if
just
we can
doesn't
have
mention
that.
us.
It doesn't mention us.
But we're gonna add us to it. so.
Yeah, I mean,
And then see where we're at. If the insurance says it's good, they can add that on to make them show proof of insurance, and you feel like the waiver's good after we add all of our stuff, then but if one of them kicks, then that's gonna put it on a whole different perspective, I guess, so. Until we find out, mainly probably the insurance.
And sometimes, you know, we think things, guys, you know.
I think you're getting awful worrisome than that.
Yeah.
Awful worrisome.
I could get married.
Yeah.
There you go.
That don't happen a lot.
Why didn't you say so?
I think it'd be perfect. I think things would go smooth. There'd be no
It
risks,
probably will go slow.
no fights,
It probably will go slow.
shootings or anything. I think we'll be.
I don't think Jeff will have to stop him.
I don't think he'll have to stop anyone.
Choke on a duck.
That's what they told on the Indian group at the baseball game, there's 4 killed.
Never thought about that. Go to the office and get the tackle.
Okay, we'll go on, and try to get some of that information and get that back as soon as we do. And, Debbie, when you find out something, let me know, I'll let the council know, we'll just,
are we checking the KLC too, or just the insurance? or
yeah.
what?
I'll check it
KLC is,
KLC
is, writes our insurance, Sharon's just our go-to person.
It we may have to be a rider, you know, on our policy.
Have one.
A rider, we may already have it for events. Who knows?
Well, we do, because we have it for Lake Fest.
That's
and
right.
stuff. We
That's right.
have one that
Yeah.
covers, our policy covers
So
events.
The movies on the square,
Yeah,
and
anything that we do, any kind of events for them.
So that would get to that.
Okay, next thing I have is just, and I don't know a whole lot about this, so I'm just gonna tell you a little bit of what I know, and then we'll find out more, because this is actually something that Les just wanted me to bring up. We need to purchase a camera for the sewer lines, which is what they use to go down in the lines and see down in the lines, what's going on, how the lines are, what's happening with them. I mean, just, I guess they use it really often. We have to borrow one now or rent one, and they just feel like that it's something that we would have a lot of use for, but there's a high price tag on it. So probably $70-some thousand. So, but I think for best purposes is that we let maybe, just kind of let we all know that, and maybe have Les come to the next meeting or something and explain a little bit more, because I think he talked to Tony a little bit about
He
it,
talked to
but.
me about a week ago in Debbie's office, yeah.
Talked to me one day, he was showing me some pictures of some of the blockages
Right.
that we have.
Well, I got to see, I think the camera that, the one they were using over here down next to the house is the one that we would probably buy when it time. I got to watch it at work, you know, and, pretty dang good.
Yeah, and the way Tyler, the way Les talked, you know, is because we've got these sewer lines been in here for years, and tree roots are, you know, getting into them, and that's causing blockages, and they got these cameras in, they can go through and find where the blockage is, so instead of having to dig up 200 feet of line to find the tree roots, they can go down through, and it's got a sensor on it, I guess, and another one they can walk on top, once they get the blockage, they can walk up here and say, okay, right here's where we need to dig.
It'll show exactly how far you figured out when you're inside there, you're watching it, you can watch it move down the line, it'll show 122.7 feet when it shows it feeding out.
If you got one, did I understand correctly, it's got like a sensor on it or something?
This one may have, the one they're using there, like it feeds it down the line, it will show you exactly how far down that line you are. Now,
It's just like a little car, you got different size wheels you can put on it, you know, depending on the line.
looks like a little video camera on it.
Yeah.
And didn't somebody bring one down and
Tim Blanton with,
Yeah, that's one I saw.
let them?
and that's actually, we
see how-
borrow Russell Springs quite a bit. Tim Blanton came down, he's at Rural Water, and he ran several lines for us, must have been about 3 weeks ago, something like that, I can't remember. But, that's the one he had. Russell Springs got it, they got one, it's nice, I mean, it's.
I mean,
you put
the way
it
I
inside
look at it,
the
we're in
post
shape right now from some of the stuff he showed me. I don't think we can do without one, no matter what.
Well, we need one, I'm sure. That's something that we need. And if you all feel okay with saying that, you know, that, I mean, we can go ahead and do something on it. But I wanted to, if you wanted more information than what I knew about it and what, but yeah, if it's definitely something that we can use within, you know, when you're borrowing somebody's, if you tear
Something
it
tears
up,
up, then you gotta fix it.
you gotta fix it, you know,
It's
so.
still in yours.
Still ain't got one.
We still don't have one, exactly right, but,
We'll be back on.
I'll put it in the motion that let's go ahead and buy what he needs.
We got all these old sewer lines that, I don't know how, when they were installed in the 1940s.
years ago, yeah.
And,
When we're there.
The old sewer
Well,
line?
and being able to detect things
WPA,
ahead of
back
time,
when
too,
you was a
before
teenager.
you see that they're
Back
coming,
before
and you
we-
have to stop some of that
Yeah.
before it happens, you know.
46.
so they get, you know, these tree roots, they go to where there's water at, especially when it's dry. So we got a lot of sewer lines up there, but like tree roots.
So I'm sure we need one, I'm sure it wasn't requested if we didn't, I'm sure it's something we can use, I'm sure it's something that can prevent maybe in the future being able to recognize things before they get too bad. So if you all feel comfortable enough.
I've already made my
motion. We will.
Mitchell seconded.
So who made a motion? So we got a motion by Dwight to purchase, and this, I'm saying 72. Now, I'm not saying that that's gonna be exact price, but that's gonna
What do
be
you
right
need?
in the
That's
range.
what my
Yeah.
motion.
And then a second by Mitchell. All in favor of purchasing the camera? Any opposed? Okay, we'll give Les the approval to go ahead and get that and, try to stay close to that cost or whatever, you know, as we can. The only other thing that I want to talk just a little bit about is some things coming up that everybody knows in the past. We've had Christmas on the Square, and it's been kind of started out, city ran that, years ago when it first started, doing the pictures with the Lions Club and all that. And then we kind of had Marissa and a couple that come in and kind of added to it and took over and done a lot of the stuff. But she has resigned from that, and it's coming back to the city. So that's something that we've got to start working on. Some of the contacts, we've got a list of all the things that they've done in the past. So we're working on going through all that now, getting ready to make contacts with the people for the things like the, say the carriage and the horse. I think that's out of Bardstown. We've got to contact them and try to, because it's not that far away, and I'm sure a lot of that stuff, people book up when they've got stuff like that, they book it up ahead of time. So that's things, I feel like we probably need to try to get some kind of committee together to work on that, because there may be some new ideas that people may want to throw in there, something to add. Actually, Kim Byron had called me today, and she, would like to kind of add a few more, thought it would be good if we added a few more things to it, just to kind of have it to last a little longer or more to do, because it seems like there's tons of people here and the kids quit singing and it's kind of over, but I don't know, it's just whatever that we,
Well, didn't their ice rink go pretty good? They had it at the tourism thing?
the what?
The tourism, their ice rink.
Yeah, I think so.
I wonder what that's something we could look at.
We checked on that, last year, and the ones that we were finding was outrageously priced.
That's the reason I don't know where she got that one, but.
We could get with her and try to see about that. That's the point, we kind of probably need to think about getting a committee together and try to get some new ideas and try to get some things working on that, because we've got to start doing a couple movies on the square, September. We've got Elvis, I think, is it maybe October the 4th, is going to perform again. It was September, did you change it to October? No, not October 4th. September 4th, maybe, or 6th.
I have to go look.
Anyway.
But it's coming up.
Yeah, he's booked, and then the sheriff's office had contacted me, they're doing, I think it's September the 13th, some kind of walk, in memory of the officer, from the park, and they're coming from the city park, gonna walk over to Beck Park, and I don't know what all at that point, are they doing that in the afternoon? Do they want Beck Park to hold some kind of, so I'll meet with them and find out for sure, what dates we need to hold open for that, that we need to think about getting a kids movie going, and, or I actually contacted a couple more people to try to get just some music in the town square. It's really harder than you think to try to get people just to, because a lot of them that do play, they're booked up, at certain places for months and months ahead of time. But we're trying, I think we have some gospel groups that is asked, that is interested in maybe coming in. So we're trying to get some use out of that.
I know there's going to be a church group out there, the 4th. That's who's going to be there October 4th.
October.
Is that church service?
Okay. I knew there was something, I remember when we was talking about putting it on the calendar, and I knew that Elvis had changed his from 21st. That's Mike Valentine, but,
Be no time to trunk or treat either.
trunk or treat's coming up, and that'll be, actually, 2 weeks after the Jeep event, 2 to 3. And then, anything else we got going on, that anybody, anything you think of?
Christmas light competition.
Why don't you just form a committee on this Christmas on the Square thing? I mean, Kim Byron's got some ideas, she might be a good one to put on it too.
Yeah, we just need to get, I think, a few people together to try to get some input, and then, get a little help trying to get some of it organized and put together, because I think we need to get with Miss Emerson and find out that if she'll still do the kids choir, because all of that was handled by them. We just need to make sure all that can still be done this year. If not, you know, we will see, find replacement things going on, so. Anybody else? Anything, anybody?
I got one more thing poker round wise that I forgot to mention. I had contacted a few different local bands to see if they were available, and, I got Shane Cole and his son. I was looking for his name. I apologize, I can't remember his son's name. But Shane Cole, he was with the, Elijah Creel. They played at Lake Fest before. They were really good. They have agreed to, do maybe a 2-hour performance out at their performance for us that evening at the dragster at the poker room. They will be the entertainment at the end of the event.
But just him and his son, correct?
Him and his
Not the
son.
whole
I don't
band?
think Elijah Creel, he didn't say Elijah Creel wasn't still together, but I kind of took it that they're not.
Jeff, you got anything?
Okay.
Nathan?
No, ma'am.
Nothing exciting going on? Which is good, correct?
Good. That's correct.
Anybody else? If not, I need a motion.
I believe Chris is.
Hey, I just came to support the city council.
I thought you wanted to talk.
Well, thank you.
I guess I'm trying to do that, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah,
We just
well,
started
now talk to us. You got something you want to talk
I
about?
don't have a thing to talk about, I'm perfect.
Well, that's a question.
Wade,
I'm perfect with the way everything's going.
Oh, okay.
Wade Daffron's laid out tonight, and
He's listening to Beatles.
I got something for him too. I sent.
Motion adjourned.
Got a motion by Dwight, second by Barry, Mitchell, Gail, William.
Everybody. Don't even need to vote, do we?
So, all in favor? Everybody else can be here.
All right, good meeting.
That's everything in mind.